Hi guys, it's Sam here. So I've made this series tackling about youth, environmental protection, and disaster awareness, preparedness, and management. And this video is up first. 10 ways youth can make an impact. So today we all know that youth is walking in a thin line between having to be the waste generation and the revolution. It's always an unending discussion of how bad or how good our generation is. And at the same time, the world is also evolving. Hence, new problems arise, and from time to time, even the history comes back to haunt our today. So, how can we, the youth, be efficient to make the world a better place to live in? What are the ways youth can make an impact? So here are the 10 ways youth can make an impact. First, define your personal inferences and social awareness. So this one is based on my personal experience. I put this as a first way to make an impact because these past years I've been quite oriented or aware about various social issues, specifically through social media, my sources. So it came to a point where my head could not absorb anymore the information that I received. I was overwhelmed of these knowledges that I often confuse what's really happening. So, in my perspective, it is important to clearly define our own claims, beliefs, and our opinions on societal matters before we actually jump on learning about this. So, personal inferences, you can take it as a sort of stock knowledge, then learning about this information again, which is activating our consciousness once again. And that is when we reach social awareness. So, second is wise media production and consumption. So, to be an impactful youth, we should be wise and particular in taking information from the media, as well as being responsible in distributing them across various platforms. It is required to be cautious and meticulous when it comes to staying informed. Never rely on one source only. Always check, validate other outlets, and learn to spot particular biases. And when proven factual, only then you can share that information. Third is to create factual and just inferences. After looking for various sources, gather your own experiences and perspective about the matters in the society. Then correlate your own understanding to what you have learned so that you can come up with your personal outlook regarding on these subjects. Then it is important that logic and self-understanding must go hand in hand at all times. Why? Because sometimes our own definitions aren't always correct, and external information aren't always right. So, the youth must learn how to balance these two in order to create a factual and just inference about several issues. So, next is to support solidarity events and campaigns. If we're done defining our own perspective, we can now identify what relevant matters we should support. It is better to focus our energy on few issues that we think are truly significant to us, because in this way, we can be more effective compared to doing everything but nothing is achieved. Perhaps you can show your support by joining organizations, funding for donation drives, participating in their advocacies, truly, then practicing their advocacies. Very important. And anything else that is an essential contribution. Another is being proactive. So in making a change, an active solution must be implemented. But a solution doesn't always come after the problem. Solutions could also come beforehand. And what is it called? It's called preventive measures. Like what they say, prevention is better than cure. If you know it is wrong, then do not engage. If you know the right thing to do, then practice it. Especially, always be cautious on people and entities that are gradually taking our rights and privileges away. We have to be consistently conscious in the events that are happening in our surrounding, because this orientation is made when the mass is blind and silent and ignorant. Speak your mind. There is no better way to initiate change other than creating them into words. Like what they usually say, again, things highly happen when we speak of them. Several generations had their own struggles and fights, but most of the response for change they always begin when people finally speak of their opinions and experiences. Even today, by voicing our thoughts about deprived rights, unjust governance, and even crooked justice systems, it gives an account for a proper attention as we disclose them to the public, the wrongs that are going on in our society. And most especially, an efficient youth of change would also speak for the voiceless. An impactful youth would speak for what is wrong and would employ for what is right. So next is walk the talk. Walk the talk. So if speaking our mind is an initiation for change, doing an action to either prevent or solve a problem would be the main driving force for change. An impactful youth must exercise whatever they preach. Because speaking could only do so much, an action is nonetheless the most efficient tool to reject oppression and regression. For example, there are a lot of what we call social activists in social media. Surely it is a good thing, right? But if your only intention for doing this is to ride on what's trending and not actually practicing your beliefs, then you're not at all effective. You're only adding up to the problem. 8. Inform and motivate other youths. Is there any better way to fight corruption and bad forces other than a mass of united and informed citizens? The youth must continually encourage other youth to partake in various campaigns. An agent of change must educate others. Keyword, educate. Not to insult and look down on other people just because they're not knowledgeable as you are. A model for change must make effective ways to unite the population for the better world. Knock on the ignorant, open the eyes of the fool, teach them wisdom and never of hate. 9th, accept constructive criticisms. When we make our own inferences about various events and issues, later we'd encounter new perspectives, new notions, and even new truths or facts. Let these new viewpoints shape us into better people. Learning is unbounded. We all know that. It's infinite. Not because we claim to know it all, we'd actually stop learning. Nothing is certain. So the best way out there to keep the world in shape is another is accepting criticisms as guide to improve a better worldview. If we broaden our minds, we can find more solutions for our problems. But remember to never allow these criticisms to destroy our enthusiasms in creating a better place. So lastly is be kind and godless. Even after a millennium passed, even after time passed, the youth must always carry the kindness that ignited the passion for development and the adamant spirit that gave life for change. An impactful youth must not waver in the eyes of temptation and pain. And lastly, The passion and determination to live in a good society must not vanish even after a long period of time. Let's bring this spirit always with us, then down to the future generation. So those are the 10 ways to be an impactful youth, guys. Leaders and agents of development aren't bounded by age. Age is merely a number and it is not a measurement of capabilities. So even as the youth today, we can contribute positive changes to our society. What matters is the amount of dedication we have in order to be impactful and to forefront a progressive revolution. So that's it for this episode, guys. The 10 ways to be an impactful youth. Stay tuned for the second episode. Bye!